Now, in order to be able to know how to craft your personal brand, you need to know your level. Where are you today to even know how to get to building a personal brand? So if I were to ask any one of you today, how many of you believe you already have a personal brand? Usually, on average, when I ask this question, I get divided responses where some of you say, yes, I do have a personal brand. And some of you say, no, I actually don't have one. Well, I'm here to give you the actual answer. The answer is all of you have a personal brand, whether you think you do or not.
But this world, as big as it is, one person could be the tipping scale to really create a domino effect that no one ever seen coming. I would like to remind people, there's going to be a lot of people that's going to judge you and tell you you're too naive.
First thing you need to think about is being an expert. And what do I mean by being an expert? We already see what's happening where today, if you're not informed as to what is going on, the person next to you could have less experience, but if they're more informed, they will get ahead. And that is the knowledge truth.
Keep in mind, there's now a digital economy. And so when you're trying to export your business, you're also exporting your story and you're exporting your expertise. Some people forget that sometimes you could teach your knowledge, your background, your story, and monetize that.
So as an expert, the ones who are able to teach that information to their audiences, they get more partnerships, they get more marketing, they get more customers actually. And so I host like a lot of webinars online for free. I do a lot of videos, I do how-to tips. And so that expertise also builds my brand, which indirectly builds my business.
All right. So, hi everyone. Welcome to this official personal brand live launch. If you're ready for me to rock your world over the next 5 days, tune in. This is going to be an amazing experience. I know you're not going to be disappointed. I'm so excited to welcome you to this session. So, without further ado, let's go live and let's get it started. We are starting on the dot because we have a lot to cover over the next couple of days. So I hope you're ready. Hope you got your pen and paper ready, your drinks, because you're going to be going through a whirlwind of content and information, resources, insights. I mean, literally these next 5 days, if it doesn't rock your world, please DM me and let me know, because I'll be completely shocked if it didn't. All right. So official. Hello and welcome to the official Personal Brand Live launches, the only live 5-day training program that will become your step-by-step guide to launching a personal brand that creates wealth, opportunity, legacy in a way that you never even imagined was possible. Now, if you're ready to launch your personal brand in 2024 the right way, then you're going to learn from me the secrets to launching your personal brand online in a way that ensures that you capitalize on what's happening right now in today's economy. Okay, so let's launch your personal brand, because obviously in today's digital economy, you will not succeed without a crafted personal brand. Period. It's not a discussion. It's not a debate. I do not care who is giving you career strategy, life advice. This is something that we just cannot compete with. We cannot have a debate about it. It is true that you need a personal brand to truly manifest your career aspirations in today's digital economy. And over the next 5 days, I'm going to share with you how to build, to scale, to monetize, and really craft a personal brand that builds an actual legacy. Okay. Now, as stated before, it's really imperative that you get this correct, because this is so important in today's economy. Many of you probably have heard the stats, you probably know why, but essentially, you got to really know that this is the time to shift your perspective and tap into the vast potential of monetizing your expertise now. And here's why. Many of you are probably aware that 63% of Americans are likely to buy from a person that they know who has a personal brand, right? If you're trying to get a job right now, 70% of hiring managers say that a strong personal brand is more important than a strong resume. So even the resume won't get you hired, but your profile, your brand, how you show up online will, right? And another thing, 84% of consumers believe that a company's reputation is influenced by the personal brand of its employees. So if you don't like who is running the organization, who works at the organization, you won't even engage with that entity in any type of way, which means your personal brand is going to be so instrumental to your future that you have to realize that your lived experiences positioned in the right way can become a major opportunity. Okay. So with that said, today is going to be an important milestone for you to kick off this journey, hopefully with me. So let's embark on that journey and make this happen. All right. So before I dive in, let me give you a little bit of background on me and what I do and why I'm the right person to be speaking about this. Okay. So I have personally spoken at over 360 different conferences around the world to date and counting. Okay. I've been featured in over 124 different media outlets, whether it's Inc. magazine, Entrepreneur magazine, Forbes, you name it. I've been featured for the work that I do in entrepreneurship, tech, public speaking, and personal branding. Okay. I personally manage 3 signature digital products that bring me monthly and annual income on a regular basis. I've generated over $1 million from my speaker business and virtual businesses over the past 5 years. I even have hosted over 400 live events, including this one right here that I'm excited to be a part of, right? And if you can imagine, with all the things that I've done, working with Fortune 500 companies, working with political governments, heads of states from around the world, I've been able to do all this while building a family, right? I'm a mother of 4, right? Going on maternity leave several times. So what kept the income flowing while I was offline for several months? It was my personal brand. I've been able to start a farm. I've been able to travel the world. And the crazy thing is, I'm only getting started, right? This is just the beginning. And I want to share with you how I was able to navigate not only my personal journey, but have been able to help other people do the same. Okay, so that's a little bit about me. So formally, my name is Christina Tim. Welcome. I'm a serial entrepreneur, tech ecosystem leader, personal brand influencer. I'm a mother and wife and have built multiple revenue generating companies. And I've been doing this work around the world with influencers, celebrities, heads of states. I mean, personal branding is something I'm very passionate about because me capitalizing and really being very, very strategic with building and scaling my personal brand has been so instrumental to my career success that I cannot begin to shout to the mountaintops of how important it is for you to really dive deep onto this. So welcome officially to the personal brand live launch. Comment personal brand on the chat if you're ready to make a change, you're ready to go live, ready to see yourself in a completely different way in 2024. Give me some love on the chat. Give me a hashtag personal brand, and let's get into it because this is going to be very impact, very result driven, very practical over the next couple of days. I'm going to help you map out the next 6 months so you can have a clear path to doing the following. 1, creating a personal brand that attracts paid brand deals and speaking engagements. 2, I will help you launch digital products that sell immediately at scale. And 3rd, probably the biggest, is help you craft a personal brand that helps you diversify your income streams with multiple different options. Okay, so that's what's in store for you for the next 5 days. And obviously, there's going to be so much content, so much conversation on what we're going to cover. But all that begins with you being right here with me today. Okay, this is day 1. We are live, guys. We are live, session 1. And today, we're going to kick off with the most basic fundamental question that I need to make sure that you are prepared to not only answer, but actually act upon. I'm going to show you how to position your personal brand to attract the big 3: speaking engagements, brand deals, and clients for life. So today we're going to talk about how you can understand the economic landscape of today because things have changed drastically. I've been telling people the game has truly changed. I want to help you declutter the noise and access the start button for your personal brand and take it to the next level. Because a lot of you probably know it's important. That's why you're here. But there's so much, I would say, BS on the internet about how to do this. I'm going to help you simplify your step plan to getting this done. And we're going to conclude with giving you the secret to really kicking off your personal brand in the way that's really, really powerful, which is you crafting your value position statement. More on that later on. Okay, so that's what we're going to cover today. So today is very, very important. Comment workbook because you're going to need your workbook because we're going to be doing a lot of content for today. So please make sure to comment workbook to make sure you get your information as planned. Okay, now before I begin, I do want to address the elephant in the room. Okay, because if this is your first time engaging with me, welcome. Like, I am very bold, very out there. I'm a New Yorker at heart, so I'm going to get straight to the point with a lot. Right. And I want to start with addressing the big, big elephant in the room, which is several things. And I'm going to start with the economy, which is in the shitter right now. Excuse my French, but it is what it is. Okay. And I'm not an economist. I'm not a financial advisor, but I am human. And I am witnessing inflation completely annihilate years, I would say, of artificial financial gain over the past decade. And people are really feeling it now. Okay. And if you are attuned in any way to private conversations that are happening right now, you know, in your inner circles, amongst CEOs, amongst business owners, amongst coworkers, despite the mainstream narrative that, oh, things are okay, things are growing, things are progressing, we all know that it's tough time right now to achieve the fundamental promises that society told us that we would gain if we worked hard and played by the rules, like having a house, having the cars, building a family, being happy, living our life the way we want to, right? Or having a nice paying job or high growth businesses, all the things that were promised to us, we're questioning whether it's even possible because instead we are experiencing, people are starting families later. People are unable to even buy a home. People are even losing out on assets that they worked very hard to build because things are just not as affordable as they once were. And I will candidly even say that I almost feel like we're going backwards and it's problematic. And if you're feeling what I'm saying, comment on the chat. So we have created a scenario right now where everyone is desperate for solutions, not theoretical ones, but practical ones, right? And usually when that happens,
The solutions that will come to the forefront are not the telemarketing calls or text messages that used to be prominent prior to this being the digital age that we live in. But the new generation of wannabe gurus are telling you promising solutions that, to be honest, are not ethical, are just passing trends and not real solutions. So what's happened right now, and what I realize the industry that I'm a part of, which is this knowledge economy that I'm speaking to you right now while you're here on this call, that we are now, in a sense, we're overwhelmed, we're overworked, we're desperate for solutions, but we're also skeptical, tired, and frustrated with the bullshit. Okay, let's just call it out for where we're at, right? And here's the thing. If you are coming because you're frustrated, you're tired, you're depleted, and you just want just one win because you've taken enough L's to last you a lifetime, I promise you over the next couple of days, I want to share with you ways for you to flip the entire script. Because here's the thing. Where on one side of the picture, we have these sentiments. There are people who are still winning right now and living their best lives, okay? Because the truth of the matter, during economic times like this one, the most millionaires and success stories are made. And I'm just trying to say, why can't you be one of those stories, right? And so with that said, over the next few days, here's my promise to you, okay? Because I know there's a lot swirling in your mind right now. Here's my official promise to you, and I'm going to be very clear and direct with you right now, okay? First and foremost, I will actually share with you real insight and real game, okay? I'm not going to be holding back. I'm not going to disappoint you and just say, oh, here's what you need to know, but I hold back the rest and then you have to pay for it. No, I'm not going to do that. Like, I'm not sharing free shit with you. Even though this is a free 5-day training, I'm sharing you content that people actually pay for, that I actually charge for. That's how real I'm going to get, because I live and breathe this. And this is nothing for me to share this knowledge, because I'm definitely very passionate about this. I'm good at this. I've been doing this for over a decade. And I recognize the frustration that a lot of you are going through. And I just want to promise you that you're going to get real shit over the next couple of days. Okay. The second thing I want to be transparent upfront about is that I will share an opportunity for you to work with me beyond this program that is paid. Okay. I'm not going to beat around the bush about that. I have accomplished so much in my career to charge thousands for my expertise. So if you want more of it after today, I will give you the opportunity to gain access to it. Agreed? However, all I ask is that you allow me the space to invite those who are ready to take their brand to the next level to hear me out, including you, okay? And one thing I will say is, like, don't let previous disappointments of what you've experienced on the internet be the reason why you shut down in front of probably the one person that can actually help you right now, okay? Again, I'm getting straight to the point. I'm being very candid and sincere because, again, I listen to my audience. I listen to my community, and I know what frustrations you people are experiencing right now, because I'm also experiencing those frustrations, and I'm going to come to you very clean and candid, okay? Lastly, again, a lot of fake BS and gurus on the internet. I'm not sharing with you research. I'm sharing with you from experience. I hate that the internet has become this space where, because we're so good at branding in a way that, people can almost fake a persona that doesn't exist. My experiences are real. You could fact check them. You could, check my resume. You could check my previous photos, videos. You could see me in the flesh and know that I will say this. Everybody got a bullshit meter. Put me to the test, okay? You will know if I pass the test. You will know if I got you. Make sure that you come in ready and open and sincere to learn, and I'm going to bring you my best foot forward. That's it. So this is ultimately my promise to you, to give you the best I could offer over the next 5 days, and your promise to me is to be coming in with an open heart. That's it. Right? So I just wanted to address that promise to you, and make sure that we have a sincere and open conversation, so that way I know that we're ready to really dive in a way that makes sense, in the way that's beneficial for both of us and all of us together. Because I really do feel that this is not only something that I know that's necessary, this is something that I think is truly, truly, truly going to change how you go about planning in your career and how you go about really, really building out your goals.
and executing and achieving them and manifesting them in real time. Can I get an amen? Okay. So with that said, some housekeeping before we kick off, because I want to make sure you got everything that you need to get started. And the first housekeeping that I will say is that, one, I'm going to be live every single day so I can answer questions. So if you already have questions, send them in the chat, because those are the first ones I'm going to attack immediately after the session. Two, I'm only going live on virtual platforms just today. Starting tomorrow, if you have not registered, okay, for access to the program, okay, you will not be able to access what I'm putting out, okay? So make sure the registration link is on the chat. Feel free to register to get access to not only me going live for the rest of the week, right, but also for you to get access to the workbook, the recordings, everything that you need. And again, I am sharing it on the chat feed, the link for you to be able to register and get access to everything that you need. That's the second thing. And third, I am definitely going to be doing a lot of, like, just hands-on reactions and commentary based on your feedback. So the more feedback you give me, the more I could give you, okay? So make sure you come prepared. If you got your workbook already, if you registered, you should have printed your workbook, because we're going to be writing. We're going to be doing a lot of work today. I have notes. I do have content to be sharing with you, even off slides, because I tend to be very organic and informal when I'm doing these sessions. So be ready. Come correct, and let's get this party started, okay? So with that said, official welcome. I'm glad that we were able to get all that out the way. Make sure that you're on the right page, that you're in the right place. Let's get started, because we have a lot to cover, and I want to share with you that you really did make the right decision to be here, okay? And I will say, some of you are coming from completely different backgrounds. Some of you are business owners, some of you are digital influencers, some of you are, ballerinas, musicians, there's so many different backgrounds of people who joined. But regardless of what you are working on, regardless of where you are in your career, this is a conversation that needs to be had, and you already know, which is why you registered to be here, okay? And so one thing that's really, really clear right now is that you can't just find your place in the world anymore, right? The world is too saturated with too many influencers. You got to make your mark on the world now, right? And because we live in a digital space, it's a lot easier to do that, which means it's a lot competitive to be able to do that correctly, right? And so one thing I always tell people, for those who are on the fence, who say, oh, when I'm ready, I'll start on my personal brand. When I believe, I'm ready, this, that, and the third, you will never be ready, because I know for a fact within the next 10 years, everyone is going to need a strong personal brand message. Okay. And if you look at about the way the world has shifted from an institutional perspective, today, businesses with a weak digital presence fail at getting new customers. Think about yourself. When you're purchasing from a product, from anything right now, any institution, any business, you look it up online. You look at the reviews, you look at the site, you look at, what's their digital footprint. Soon, individuals with a poor digital presence will also fail at getting new career opportunities. Right? So you got to look at, the trends and where it's headed and how it's going to affect you. And the mere fact that, you will also be on the shopping block if you don't do this. And let's look at how people are navigating their careers, because back in the day with my parents' time, you could live in one career profession for over 50 years, 60 years. You could even retire in one job and you're done. But right now, people are switching jobs and careers almost every 2 to 3 years. Right? So if you're working from the age of 18 to 65, that's close to 15 guys, career shifts that you're going to do in one lifetime. That's the fastest change in career transitions ever in the history of humanity. No one has ever been able to live. This is the first generation to experience so many fundamental career shifts in one lifetime, which means this is the reason why you're seeing so many people are struggle with navigating this, because you got to constantly keep your brand and keep yourself on the limelight, on the pedestal, ready for game, ready for opportunities at a moment's notice. And a lot of people are struggling to do that, right? This is the reason why you see so many internet gurus popping up everywhere, because people need to keep up, right? So people need to do side hustles, people need to do side gigs, people are starting businesses, people are doing new projects. People are realizing that they need to do almost multiple things, not only to be relevant, but also
to be ready for what's next, because you might be working in one function, but maybe that project that you're working on is going to be the introduction opportunity gateway for you to get the next job or launch a business or launch a project that's really fruitful for your career. So we all recognize this has happened. This is why so many influencers are just taking over the internet, right? And the reality is the monotone career path is dead. Okay. What our parents used to do no longer applies. And this is the reason why also more mature generations are struggling to keep up, because they don't know how to leverage the internet the way that we or younger generations are able to do. They're going to struggle in this economy. Right? And guess what? It's only going to get worse. I just shared with you 15 career shifts that you're going to experience in your lifetime, right? Probably my children, right, as a mother of 4, they're probably going to experience double, if not triple that, right? Because now we're seeing people are transitioning almost every 6 months, every year. My LinkedIn, when I look at people's updates, it can't keep up. Like now, back in the day, I used to be able to follow up with someone on LinkedIn and see what they're doing and be able to engage with them based on their position. Now, I know there's only a matter of time before that person leaves that job or is let go or is working on a new project, working on a new business. The career game has changed. Okay, so you need to have a versatile lifestyle. You need to have a unique combination of career experiences to not only supplement your income, but really create value to your community. So that way you're always top of mind no matter what's happening. And again, this is hard for a lot of people to navigate and manage. And I get it, right? Because it's a lot to navigate. So that means people are now more dependent on learning how to make transitional leaps through other people's experiences, right? This is the reason why institutional companies are tuned out. They're not able to help you navigate the world that we live in today. You can learn much faster for someone else who you see doing it, right? So for example, many of you are on this session because you've seen me monetize and scale my personal brand over the past decade. So you realize instead of going to, let's say, IBM and learn through our official course or go to Harvard to learn over 2 years how to build your personal brand, like, let me just talk to this girl right here through a live program and find out how does she do it in 5 days. Right? And even if you don't watch me over 5 days, just track my LinkedIn, track my posts, track me in the media. And you are able to see the steps that I've taken to get from point A to point B. You cannot do that through an institutional program anymore. The institutional curriculum is dead. Okay? We are now fundamentally learning from other people's experiences, AKA you're learning from other people's personal brands. Right? So people now trust individual brands over institutional brands. It's like an all-time high right now. It's completely changed. Corporate brands are disconnected, which means your individual experiences can shape someone else's reality. You are always, and for those of you who are second guessing whether this is the right fit for you, you are always, and I can guarantee this for every single person, even if you are a young child on this call, okay? Aside from an infant who is just born, you are always 2 steps ahead of somebody else who needs to learn from you. Let me repeat that again. You are always 2 steps ahead, okay, from someone else in this world who needs to learn from your experience, your journey, your lessons, your fails, your wins. Everything that you have been through, someone else needs to learn from you. Because guess what? Even if 10 people have the same experience, you might like this person's swag. You might like this person's persona. You might like how this person smiles. You might like how this person talks and vibes and, just everything about that person, which is why you want to learn from them, right? So you are the unique individual that someone is waiting to learn from right now. And if you do not learn how to position that character, that journey that you have just organically built just by way of life experiences, you are closing yourself off to such not only a magnitude opportunity, but such a magnitude of impact that you could be making in someone else's life. I know every time I get to the mic, I know every time I come online, someone needed to hear what I had to say. Okay, and I'm not saying this from a vain perspective, like, oh my God, someone's hearing me. No, I mean it from a real personal, heartfelt position that someone needed to hear that. Someone needed to be validated in some way with something that I'm putting out there. You can be doing the same.
right? And so as you try to navigate and figure this out, I got you. I'm going to help you. Okay. And so I usually start by figuring out what is your current challenge bringing you. And I need you guys to just like, give me a chat, a shout out on the chat where you're at. Tell me which challenge that you're facing right now so I can see how I can help you. Okay. So put on the chat, put on, on the live feed, wherever you're coming in from. If number one resonates with you, you are feeling lost in goal planning right now and don't know how to position yourself for the next big step in your career. Give me a 1 on any feed right now, right? On the chat, in the comments, if that's how you're feeling right now. This is the challenge that you're facing, okay? Right, number 2, if you are feeling overwhelmed with multiple strategies, right? Everyone has a trending hack, a trending strategy with the online gurus making promises on how to succeed online, and you're almost experiencing decision fatigue. Give me a 2 on the chat if that's what you're feeling right now. Give me a 2, okay? Give me a 3 if you're feeling frustrated with your current work-life reality right now, but don't know what opportunities you need to seize right now to radically shift your situation, financially, emotionally, spiritually, all of the above. Give me a 3 on the chat if that's what you're feeling right now, okay? Give me a 4 if you're completely off track, okay? And it's okay, we're gonna be honest and sincere with your financial goals, and you need a strategy to massively increase your income as quickly as possible without compromising, okay, this is a big one, your time and your reputation. And guys, if you have multiple challenges, give me a comment on the chat. It's perfectly fine, okay? This one I understand. And give me a 5, okay? If you know how important it is to craft your personal brand, but my goodness, you don't even know where to start to actually experience immediate results. Give me a 5, okay? Give me a 5, all right? So a lot of comments, some of you guys are giving all different challenges that you're facing right now. Some of you are facing all of the above. Some of you are facing number 1. Some of you are facing number 5. Some of you are facing number 3. The point is, I want you to see clearly that personal branding is not just something to look good. When you unlock your personal brand, you are able to tackle multiple challenges that you are facing in your life right now from a career perspective, from a planning perspective, from a life perspective. There's so many different goals that you have, financial, spiritual, career goals, personal goals, development goals that you are trying to tackle right now, that unlocking your personal brand will help you navigate all of the above, right? And I'm saying this because all 5 of these challenges, I myself have experienced. And I leverage my personal brand to plan ahead. I've leveraged my personal brand to really navigate who should I learn from on the internet, who should I grow from, who are the mentors I want to tap into and grow and accelerate my learning. I leverage my personal brand to be able to create a life that has balance, that has sincerity, that has impact, that has purpose. I've been able to leverage my personal brand to create multiple streams of income so I don't have to like go crazy at the end, right? Trying to figure out what's going to be the next paycheck, what's going to be the next brand deal. And I've also leveraged my personal brand to work through transitions in my life. I've had children, I've moved, I've scaled, I've launched businesses, I've failed. I leveraged my personal brand to unlock the transitions in my life, because in life, you will always have highs, you will always have lows, you will always have valleys, you will always have mountains. You will always have challenges, struggles, and you will always triumph. But the shortcut to that is knowing who you are and knowing how to navigate that to help you get to that finish line, right? And so with that said, here's why, despite these challenges that you're facing, this is the best time to capitalize on the changes that we are experiencing right now as a society and in your own personal life right now, okay? Obviously, the game has changed. The world has shifted, especially since the pandemic. Technology is accelerating. The industry has shifted. So many industries are colliding right now. So much is happening in real time that if you don't navigate and know what your game plan is, you will be lost. And right now we're halfway through the year. There's so much opportunity for you to make 2024 the breakthrough year that you've been waiting for. Can I get breakthrough on the comments? So I know that we are here to really shift not only 2024, but the decades ahead of us. Give me comment breakthrough if you are ready to really change the game for yourself, your family, and everyone that you love. And here's why this is a great time to do this. This is why I'm doing this in the middle of the year and not in the beginning, because I know some of you had goals that you wanted to accomplish, you had things that you wanted to do, and you're halfway through and you're like, how am I going to do this? This is where the conversation begins. All right? Here's why this matters. Everyone is going online. As of April of last year, there were 5.1 billion internet users. Okay? And our global population is getting to 9 billion. We are going to grow that number exponentially over the next couple of years. So if everyone's online, you need to be there too, properly, not as a consumer, but as a producer. Also, the second thing is trust is now built online, period. If you don't have your reputation online, people will not engage with you in any type of way. And there's multiple statistics to prove that, right? Obviously, probably the biggest one is you're going to have to fundamentally learn how to make income digitally. It's going to be imperative. One way or another, over the next couple of years, if you do not know how to create digital income streams, you will be strained financially. And many of you, if you don't figure this out, you will either become bankrupt, you will lose sight on opportunities, and you will not be able to financially sustain yourself in the upcoming years or months to come. Okay? It's not a discussion. You need to figure out digital income streams. It's imperative now. Okay. And luckily, the global e-learning market is growing. So you are positioned to tap into it, right? Because the knowledge economy that we're operating in, which I'm going to share with you later on, is valued at $1 trillion. And it's only growing. So if you don't figure this out, this is probably going to be the biggest regret that you're going to have as a career decision for the rest of your life. So let's change that today. Okay. So as we tap into planning, and we go into what we're going to do, I'm going to help you access the start button for your personal brand so you could take the leap that you need to really prepare for yourself for what's next. Okay? So here's how we're going to do this. Again, this is a time for you to now really visualize where you want to be in the next 6 months. Because what I'm going to share with you starting today is going to require a little bit of work. It's going to require a little bit of discipline, but the execution will get you results. Sounds cool, right? Let me start on the comments if you're ready to begin. If you're ready to click the start button on your personal brand live launch and ready to make this year your year. Okay. So with that said, let's dive into what that looks like. Okay. Now, to show you how this makes sense, because remember, I'm speaking from experience. This is not something that I just came up with, in my office and just say, hey, this is the formula for a personal brand. Not at all. Like, honestly, several years ago, I finally understood what it meant when they say, like, when you find fulfillment and flow in your life, what it looked like. It all really made sense to me a couple years ago. Okay. And I'm going to share with you how I figured this out and how I'm able to share this structure and system and probably this blueprint with you that it's going to shock you how you're going to move forward. Okay. And before I got to this, where I'm on stage around the world, speaking at multiple, organizations, launching multiple companies, having the family that I have right now, and still navigating my career where the only direction at this point is up, right? Where I'm learning more and more, I'm growing more. I'm not done, right? Before I got to this point, my journey actually started with literally me figuring out how to get my first job. Okay, because I was the first in my family to be able to graduate from college, go to college and graduate. And I was also the first in my family to get an actual corporate job. So having a corporate life was a big deal for me. Within 2 years, I quit because I recognized that something was calling me to do something greater, right? And I'm someone who's bold, who takes a leap of faith. I'm a heart-filled, God-filled person. I'm a spiritual person. And I took a leap of faith with God and said, look, I'm going to quit and just, move somewhere. And I moved to Dubai and don't know anyone from there. Comment if you, if you have faith in just taking big leaps in your life, because when I did this, it didn't even make sense to anyone who knew me because I didn't know anyone in that country. It had no reason to go, but I just say, hey, I'm going to quit and go. And mind you, being the first in your family to accomplish something so huge and be able to make the income that mattered, that showcased that you were doing well, and quit, is really, at a certain point, people think you lost it, okay? But I did quit. I moved to Dubai, and it probably was the best decision I made because
I took a leap of faith and launched my first company. And within 2 years, I not only accelerated the company and scaled it into multiple countries, I made the Forbes list. And, as my career as a business owner, as an entrepreneur was kicking off, more and more people want to learn from, how I built the website, how I scaled the company, how I gained traction, and the journey of entrepreneurship that I took, that I became a public speaker and my speaker career kicked off. Right. And of course, media mention started. So I started getting interviews from around the world. I started getting global recognition. I started meeting celebrities left, right, and center, working with heads of states, billionaires, and influencers, who wanted to work with me and the work that I was doing, in different countries around the world. And I recognized that as I was navigating this journey of really doing all these things around the world, growing my speaker career, growing my business, and growing my brand, I started working with big brands as well, right? And what I came to realize is that I was in flow. Guys, I was in flow. Like, I had figured out a way where almost everything I touched was just manifesting for me, right? Money was flowing, clout was flowing, opportunity was flowing. I was even in this journey of madness, was able to meet my husband and start a family and grow my family and grow all the personal, like career aspirations I ever wanted, which is accelerating like fire, right? I was in flow. And when I look back on the past 10 years, I'm like, what did I do? Because I had moments where I did go through a period of depression because it was coming at me really fast. And when you get to a point where you were doing everything right and you just hit a moment where things are just not going as well as they used to anymore, and you hit a snag, and I had a moment where I had to stop and reflect, okay, what did I do in that 10 years where I was just literally on top of the world? What did I do? I needed to decode this, right? And figure out, okay, I'm a serial entrepreneur who has launched over 47 different brands, tech summits, companies, initiatives, foundations. Guys, 47 brands. I don't think you understand. Whether it be Haiti Tech Summit or Ghana Tech Summit, Her Future Summit, Vendetti, Global Startup Ecosystem, Global Startup Foundation, the Tech Foundation, the Global Tech Group. I mean, multiple brands. Co-founder with billionaires, co-founder with heads of states. Some of them I launched on my own, right? 47 brands in 10 years is not a joke, okay? And somewhere along the journey, everything just stopped. And I had to really reconstruct what I did to get to that point. And what I realized when I took the time to reflect and really decode the journey that I embarked upon, that I experienced over the past couple of years, I realized that without even trying, I built a strong personal brand where there was a call to action in that personal brand that really commanded not only attention, but participation. Let me repeat that again. I built a personal brand that not only commanded attention, but it commanded participation, which means people wanted to be a part of what I was building. People wanted to be a part of what I was manifesting because they saw themselves in the initiatives that I was launching. They saw themselves in the work that I was doing. They saw themselves in the aspirations that I was manifesting in real time. How many of you have done that for your community, for your network, for your community at large, at scale? How many of you have done that and you even know how to do that? That's what I did. And so as I was decoding the journey, when I had that slump, that period of depression where I just lost everything and I had to figure it all out, I had to really find my purpose all over again and start over in many respects from scratch. And it happened off the back of having another child and being out of the market for so long and coming back in my purpose, in my truth, born again, right? And so here's where I want to start this conversation with all of you as we navigate you launching your personal brand in a way that you've probably never been told before, okay? If this is your first time hearing about Maslow's hierarchy of needs, please listen because this is very important that you understand this so you to get to the point where I'm going to show you how to navigate really launching and cultivating a personal brand of purpose, of value, of impact, and of service to others, okay? At the fundamental level, we as a society, we as human beings, we have 5 fundamental needs to exist in this world, in this society as it is, yesterday, today, and tomorrow. This is something that's fundamental across generations, across lifetimes, okay? And one of the most fundamental needs is obviously our psychological needs, right? We need to be able to eat, we need to drink, we need to be able to sustain, we need to live, okay? Those are the fundamental needs that if that is not met, we start to go crazy, okay? The second fundamental need is safety and security, right? We need to know that we have family, we have stability, we have, a roof over our heads to be able to actually manifest our psychological needs. And above that, this is where you see people go through so much mentally, psychologically, emotionally when they don't have this, is love and belonging. We need to have friendships. We need to have family. We need to have someone who loves and cares about our existence with nothing in expectation, non-transactional relationships, okay? Love and belonging. These fundamentals, where you see people start to really get on the ladder of success, right, is when they start to self-actualize, where you start to have confidence and achievements, where people are saying, good job, you've done well, right? These are the milestones that we see in people's careers and their life, self-esteem. And ultimately, self-actualization is that fulfillment, where you have creatively built a life that you are truly proud of. Okay, that's the meaning. That's inner potential realized and evolved and evolving. Okay, these are the fundamental needs. When I think about how we live as human beings and where we are, these are the core fundamental principles that makes us exist in a sane and proactive and fulfilled manner, right? So when we think about the life and the journey that we want to build for others, because this is where we're tapping into what we need for ourselves as individuals. Now, when you're trying to create a personal brand for others, there's also a hierarchy of needs that you need to fulfill. Okay. And I'm going to share that with you today, the personal brand ascension ladder that you need to be mindful of in order to be able to build and scale a personal brand that will shock the world. Okay. At the fundamental level, we all, every single person on this call, every single person on this session today, we all have experiences, right? And these are mainly lived and work experience. So the jobs that you've done, but also the life that you lead, countries that you lived in, people that you worked with, things that you've seen, graduations that you experienced, right? These are your experiences. And we all, in this phase, everyone knows how to document that experience. That's your resume, okay? Where you move from being an experienced individual to being an expert is where now people are asking you for, hey, can you do this for me? Things that people repeatedly ask you to do is them highlighting your talent and your expertise, right? Something that you've done on a repeated basis that people want to work with and leverage. That's when you've become an expert. At this point, you have built a reputation, okay? Now, here's where I want you to have the psychological shift about personal branding that I know no one on the internet is talking about right now, okay? A lot of people stop here. They've built their reputation because they are an expert, but a lot of people get stuck at this baseline and don't know how to go from having a reputation to building an authority, okay? Where you are now, you're not just someone who's an expert. You are the expert. You are the authority. You are the alpha and the omega on a subject because of how you approach it. It's your signature mark, right? And when you are in this space, you are enlightening others, okay? People want to step into your zone of genius at this point because you have shown value. I know what this feels like. Many of you probably experienced this in your lifetime where you see that people want to tap into you because at this point, you are just displaying an energy of confidence, an energy of just bravado because you know what you're talking about. You know that you are in your limelight of expertise. You are the authority at this point. This is where the shift starts to change, where you see people are building strong personal brands, separate themselves from the masses. Because it's at this stage when you create a value proposition, a service message that signals to others that you hold value and you are able to provide that value on a consistent basis because you run this, right? This is where you now get to the second stage, which is value creation. This is when you have an actual brand where you are now able to empower others, Okay, this is where people are now buying things for you. This is where people start to monetize their personal brand, because now you have a product signature, things that people can tap into. This is the part where you see people are now, they're not only people with strong brands, but they've monetized their brands. And the last and the pinnacle top point, only a few people in this world are able to manifest this. These are the celebrities, it has the states, the people that are mainstream that you see, the people who are building legacies. They are able to not only empower people, but they are able to not enable people. You are able to, at this point, people are now able to build and scale their lives based on things that you've done. This is where you see people like Michael Jackson is creating the next generation of artists. This is where you're seeing people who are leaders in government are learning from the words and the thoughts of Martin Luther King, right? Where they're able to build new platforms off the back of someone creating the blueprint for that. Right? This is legacy building, right? So for a lot of you, I want to get you out from being stuck at being at level 5 and 4, where you're just now someone who's experienced and one of the experts. I'm getting you to the next level of your career. I want to get you to the enlightened phase where you are now becoming an authority, because it's at that level that magic starts to happen, where you're able to manifest real value for others, and by default kick off and accelerate your career to new heights that you never even imagined was even possible. This is the level that you want to get to in your brand. Now, this is where I want you to now pull out your workbooks, because we're going to walk through how you're going to do that. Okay, so with that said, if you understand what I'm putting out right now, where this is the level of personal brand that you want to get to, right? At level 5, you need to document your experience. So this is what's on your resume. So on your workbook, what you would put here is literally, you're going to articulate all your top work experiences and all your top lived experience. What we're trying to find here is your zone of genius, and trying to find your center of brilliance, right? Where do you navigate where people are asking, like, are really tapping into you for your work and your lived experience. So for work experience, I started a business. I worked in corporate. I launched, a real estate business. I've launched a farm. These are my work experiences. My lived experiences, I got married. I became a mother. I started, to do herbal healing. I lived in multiple countries. I traveled in multiple countries. These are a lot of my lived experiences, right? These are crucial for you to document and really analyze where in this set of lived and work experience can people tap into your zone of genius to be able to work with you, right? At level 4 is where you're going to identify your expertise. Like, what is your reputation right now? What do people know you for? Whether you like it or not, you do have a reputation. You do have something that people know you for. And what is that, right? This is where we get into the third box in your worksheet, which is your acts experiences. I didn't realize that I was a good marketer. I didn't realize that I was a good writer, right? Until multiple people, even from college, even from high school, people come to me and say, Christine, can you look at my resume? Can you look at my cover letter? Can you look at my letter? Like, people would come to me, anything that had to do with writing and saying things in a way that was really inviting and emotional, people came to me about, because people said that, Christine, when you write, when you articulate yourself through your words, it really resonates, right? These are acts experience, and now I'm leveraging that today, right? So this obviously has no relation to my work and lived experiences, but it is an experience that I've been able to cultivate over the past couple of years, okay? And so at that point, once you are at these levels, now let's talk about getting you to level 3. And this is where you start to serve others, where you become an authority figure. And this is where I want to get you to right now. This is the zone of opportunity that you are destined for. This is where you want to come in and be able to say, okay, light bulb, this is where you want to start building your personal brand. This is the people, when you see people are mainstream, this is what they figured out. They figured out how to become an authority and create a brand that leaves a legacy. This is the zone of opportunity that I want to share with you today. That's going to completely change how you go about not only building your personal brand, but scaling and monetizing your personal brand. And how do you go beyond having an experience and go beyond being an expert to how do you become an actual authority on a topic and on a subject? The starting point, ladies and gentlemen, is positioning. Okay? It's positioning.
A lot of you have the goods, you know your stuff, you know the clout, you know the information, right? You could right now change someone's trajectory just with the expertise that's in your head. But because you haven't positioned yourself for people to know that you are the authority on a topic, no one is tapping into you. No one's able to tap into you, right? And so with that said, how do you position yourself? Well, you position yourself by creating a value statement. So I'm going to help you do that today, because this is the starting point for you to start monetizing and building and scaling your personal brand. This is what I did. Once I did this step, doors started opening for me in ways that I never ever expected. And let me show you why. Okay. Because your value positioning statement is a message that attracts the right audience, so that way you stand out from the noise. Remember, I shared with you my journey where I was working with heads of states, I was working with celebrities, I was working with Fortune 500 companies. To this day, I'm working with major clients, major brand deals, major opportunities on a consistent basis, because my value statement attracts people. I'm not introducing myself in rooms like, oh, I'm the CEO of GSC, I'm the founder of this. I actually introduce myself through my value positioning statement, because whoever hears it, either they want to tap into it or they want to recommend someone that needs what I'm putting out. That's how you need to introduce yourself in 2024 going forward, with value, not with titles. Okay. And so how that looks like, when you look at this authority ladder, this is what it looks like. I help who, right, to do what because of why. That is it. That is it. And you probably will find on LinkedIn, if you look at people's LinkedIn profiles, a lot of people are starting to update their banners with that introduction statement. So they're no longer saying that they're the CEO of XYZ or the founder of this. They're saying, I help who to do what because of why. And what that looks like in real time is that, for me, my value statement is I help women entrepreneurs, right? That's who I'm targeting, female entrepreneurs, to monetize their brands. This is what I help them do, monetize their brands, to create a flexible, fulfilled lifestyle. The why is I want them to have flexible, fulfilled lifestyle. And part of the reason why this value statement is easy for me to reinforce in everything that I do is because I represent that. I'm a female entrepreneur who have monetized my brands, who have created a flexible and fulfilled lifestyle. I'm already the first persona that I'm serving, right? So anything I do, it doesn't feel forced. It doesn't feel difficult, because I'm living the value statement that I'm creating for others. Are you following, right? And so this is why it's so crucial that as you start to manifest that, you share that everywhere that you have. So I share on my website, on my social media, right? It's a clear statement to stand out from everyone. So with that value statement, when people want to tap into the solutions I have to provide, I'm able to create the products people pay for, tap into, engage with. That's the reason why I'm able to tap into multiple deals, because anyone who wants to tap into that value proposition that I'm putting out, they know exactly how to engage with me for me to get to this point, right? So with that said, when you think about your personal brand and what you're trying to build, your value proposition is your message. It's your magnet that you're creating and say, hey, everyone, I am here to serve. I am here to build, because we no longer want to engage with people who are self-entitled and self-indulgent. I do not care that you are the CEO of XYZ Corporation. I don't give a damn, right? I do not care that you founded XYZ companies. I could have sat here and told you all the different companies I launched, all the different brands I work with. I kind of slide through that quickly. What I started with is that, guys, I learned how to build my personal brand, and I want to share with you how to do that. That is why you are here. You're not here because I'm the founder of these companies. You are here because the value proposition that I put out there told you that, hey, I'm here to serve you and share with you information that can help you along your career journey. So you want to work with me. You want to tap into this. You want to engage. You want to involve yourself and have a mutual dialogue. I'm doing it right now. How many of you have learned how to do that for others? If you know, it's a service-oriented, direction, and it's really impact that, because if you can see, I'm operating in my zone of genius because this comes so natural to me. I don't need slides, right? Let me just take this off right now. I don't need anything to showcase this information. All I need is my voice, my energy, my swag, because I lived this experience of building my personal brand, providing that value. So my value proposition is in me, it's within me, and this is what I share with others. So for many of you who are trying to navigate your career, a lot of you, when you walk into rooms of opportunity, and rooms are not just networking functions, rooms are the people you meet on the street, the places that you go to eat, the lunchrooms that you operate in, with the people that you interact with that are complete strangers. These are rooms and spaces of opportunity. You are introducing yourself from a deficit perspective. You need to address yourself and open up and introduce yourself from an abundance mindset, where you open up and say, hey, I am so-and-so, and this is what I do, right? The way people will react to you completely transforms when you do that, because people are able to tap into that and engage with that. Can I get an amen if you guys understand what I'm putting out there, and you understand that from today, okay, you will no longer introduce yourself in rooms as the CEO or as the founder, as the title of XYZ Corporation, that you would give people the value that you want to put out. Tell me what's your value proposition on the chat. That you would introduce yourself with purpose, integrity, and impact, that you would share with people that, hey, I have come here to do XYZ. Who wants to tap in? That is how you want to engage with people today and going forward, right? That's what you want to bring to the world. And I will tell you, when you lead with impact and service and with value, you not only attract the right audience that wants to work with you, you also manifest multiple limitless opportunities, because people start to have conversations about you behind closed doors. Hey, did you see what so-and-so is doing? Hey, did you check out? Because it's almost like bragging rights for people to talk about you, because you're doing such good service in the world that they want to be the ones to brag about. Like, I know so-and-so what they're doing. How I want someone brag about you, right? You want to be that person that does this. So with that said, today I just share with you a powerful way to completely change how you introduce yourself to the public in order to build a personal brand that really resonates with others. This is the ascension ladder that you want to start with. We're gonna eliminate the need of being like everybody else and start with authority. From this day, will speak and introduce yourself from a place of authority. Now that we know how to do this today, tomorrow we're gonna take this to the next level. Okay, tomorrow I'm gonna show you, now that you have that value proposition, I'm going to show you how to optimize your social media profile to showcase this value proposition, so you can attract, build, and scale your audience, so that when more people see what you're doing, more people want to tune into what you're doing, and more people want to work with you and engage with you and build with you and grow with you, because you are who they want to engage with, right? So that's what we're going to do tomorrow. So of course, feel free to bring back your workbooks, because tomorrow we're going to be a very intense session. It's going to be a private and closed session. So make sure to register and make sure you have access to what I'm going to put out. Tomorrow is going to be 10 times more intense, because I'm going to be auditing profiles live on LinkedIn and show you, when I see a profile on the internet, when I Google someone, these are the key 10 things I look for. And this is how I would adjust here. This is how I would position this phrasing, like show you exactly how to position your brand message to the world in a way that resonates with others. Okay. And so with that said, thank you so much for joining me today. Hopefully you realize and you learn a powerful tool today on how to position your personal brand to attract the big three, right? And tomorrow we're going to actually get to work, and we're going to optimize that digital presence. Within 5 minutes, I'm going to show you how to actually do that and make that happen. Okay. With that said, not today, but tomorrow, I will share with you how we're going to be able to even flesh this out even more with the comeback of my personal brand accelerator program. Now, I do not do digital recording courses. These is going to be live. I'm going to be hosting this program live during the month of August, and I'm going to help many of you launch your personal brand this summer through this program. How would that sound? Right? Where I will help you, walk you through, craft your brand message, craft your value statement, create digital products, and be able to launch this summer, this year, help you launch your personal brand. All of this I'm going to share with you tomorrow, because that's when doors are going to open for registration.
You'll hear more about this tomorrow. Today, I just want to make sure that I get you guys all on the same page to be able to understand exactly how to really kick off your personal brand journey to launch, because I'm going to help you create an event, ladies and gentlemen, this year virtually to launch your personal brand live. We're going to do this year. Okay. So with that said, I hope that you're excited for tomorrow, because each step for the next 5 days is going to help you build the content and the launch plan to launch your personal brand. That is the benefit you're going to get from this 5-day training, that not only I'm going to show you how to accelerate your brand and build your brand, but I'm going to help you launch your live brand this year. So I'm looking forward to seeing you guys all tomorrow, same time, same place, right? Stay tuned for more information. Comment if you want access to, obviously, the workbook and the recordings from today's session. And tomorrow, we're going to go from creating the value statement to showcasing that value statement, to position ourselves for opportunity and limitless opportunity. So thank you so much. I'm so excited you guys were able to join me today. It was truly a pleasure. Let's kick back, let's decompress, and really digest what we did today, because tomorrow it's going to take it to the next level. Thank you so much. Now send you your questions on your chat feed. I'm going to start answering them immediately. Same time, same place tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much. Bye. The Personal Brand Accelerator Program. We're going to talk about really the who, what, when, where, how of personal branding. Personal branding in many ways is an ongoing process, right? Because you are practicing, you're developing, you're manifesting yourself over time as you grow and develop as a person within your career. Today, we're transitioning from the personal branding fundamentals to now building your personal branding foundation, right? You can't position yourself for opportunity unless you understand your motivations and what is your capacity. Now, at the very beginning, you should always be experimenting with your brand and engaging with the world, just trying to find out, okay, what experiments do you need to run to see where you need to be? There are a million different ways to make money with your personal brand, but you either got to do what is your biggest strength right now, right? Or you do where the most resources are available. A lot of people, when they're trying to monetize their personal brand, they focus on bucket 4 and 5. Right? Where they're working with people to get speaking engagements, contracts. You're doing a lot of external activities to get that clout from the community to pay you for certain works. A lot of times people confuse marketing and sales to be the same thing, right? This is the reason why a lot of people, they have a personal brand. Let's say they got as far as they create a free or paid product like a course or a retreat or a session, and they're putting it out there. They're quote unquote marketing it. They're promoting it. They're blasting it, but they're not monetizing. They're not making money. And part of the reason why is because they did not combine their marketing strategy with their sales strategy. But I could give you all the systems all day long, but it's up to you to turn it into a routine. And that does require checklists. It does require you really having the discipline to execute on that routine. so much has happened over the past couple of weeks. You have learned so much from start to finish. The best way I could end this is by saying that, look, like, a lot of people wait their entire life to try to figure this out. You have the unique opportunity where you have this content for life, right? And you have this journey for life where you are now given a blueprint to constantly keep upping your brand, keep accelerating your career, keep creating value, and also creating multiple streams of income for yourself, in addition to any of the fundamental work that you do.